Hey, brothers and sisters. I just wanted, it's December 12th. Um, I guess it's about 10 o'clock at night here in Atlanta. And I've been thinking about something that was kind of unusual, walking by the Spirit, that I just wanted to come out and put up a quick video about. Um, in the video I did today, which was basically um, gospel a gospel presentation of depth, I guess you would say, in that what are the signs of true saving faith? Um, and the interesting thing to me was after I finished doing it, because I really try to only do videos when God has really put a message on my heart, and and that I feel like I'm supposed to do it. And it may be that it's just for one person. I don't know. It may be that nobody watches it. I just feel like it's something I'm supposed to do. And I think there is a lot of confusion, particularly in America, with what is true salvation, because I believe pretty much the American church is messed up with either being having false gospels, and being apostate, and not standing for truth. And I love truth. Well, anyway, strange thing was, as soon as I finished that video, I went on to watch Rhonda Empson's channel, and she did a video about share of the gospel today, which I thought was really interesting because she wasn't feeling well, and still she felt like she needed to get that word out. So I went to go to the Children's Hospital today in the outpatient department. Now, the thing that's strange about this is I used to do this visit on Tuesdays. I did it for, I don't know, a couple of years. And they got their own therapy dog in the house. So I hadn't done it because they didn't need as many therapy dogs coming in. And yesterday, I hadn't done it, I think, in about a year. I think I stopped doing it the beginning of fall of 2016. So it ended up that the lady, Mary, emailed me and asked me if I could go because her dog was sick. And I said, yeah, I can do that. And she didn't want to cancel on the kids. I think they'd had to cancel last month. So I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I'd had this burden on my heart to tell people in my Bible study about what I have discovered with, it's not a new discovery. It's a discovery I've had really after in-depth study about divorce and remarriage. And I have put on, over the weekend, like I had, we had the snow here. So I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that I was here. And I ended up putting together a playlist on my channel of other people teaching the same things that I have found out, which is called the Permanence View of Marriage. And so I put a playlist together with different people teaching the same subject. And I mean, these people are solid. They've written books about it, and they're rightly dividing the word of truth, which I believe is has been watered down because of the problem of divorce being just as common in the church, and pastors and churches don't want to tell somebody that no, you shouldn't do that because God hates divorce, or by telling them this. In fact, Andy Stanley, he's preached on it, so I guess I can say it. Andy Stanley has done a lot of false teaching, but one of the sermons that he did was on the hard sayings of Jesus, and he preached, this is what God has to say about divorce and remarriage. And then he said, but I tell people, and I'm telling you this is the absolute truth. He says, this is what God says, but I tell people that if they've wait, or I tell my pastors that if the couple has waited for 2 years since their divorce, that they can get remarried. Hello? Andy is telling us something opposite from what God says, that there's like a statute of limitations, that waiting for 2 years is makes it okay with God, that what he hated today in 2 years he's not going to hate, that what he calls adultery today in 2 years is not going to be adultery. It is all about the money. Follow the money. The money is that these people, particularly these rich men who have gone out to get their young things, they want to feel good that they're in the church, that they're going to heaven, and that they can get married to their young honey. And in this case, that's what my ex-husband has done, gotten married. They baptized the adulteress. Andy Stanley's church baptized the adulteress. It's kind of like, oh, she's been sleeping with my husband for a couple of years, and we'll baptize her, and then she's getting married the next weekend, so that somehow that was washed away. It wasn't. And I called him and I said, my husband secretly got remarried. My daughter found out about it because her grandmother lied to her about the wedding. I had called my mother-in-law and said, I think that he's getting married and you shouldn't participate in that because it's not a marriage, it's adultery. And she said she would pray about it. And then my daughter went to go see Nana. She hadn't seen Nana in a couple of years because they all sided with my husband. And even though he was unrepentant in his adultery, right? He wasn't in adultery with this woman when it's been a long. He's got a long rap sheet, I guess you'd say, of adultery. Anyway, but then my daughter ended up finding out on Facebook that her dad had gotten married. Okay, and but when I called the church after I found out about it, when I called the church and I said, why did you do this? You knew I had talked with him twice. I was like, why did you do this? And they said, it's none of your business. And I said, well, I guess the only thing I can do then is remove my membership, which is what I did. And I told him, I said, this is wrong, and I will be telling everyone that it's wrong. And, oh, yeah, okay, you do that. Well, it's no different, really, than you see these scandals going on, right? Where there's power, they're not going to listen to people saying that they've been wronged. They just aren't. They're not going to listen to it. So anyway, I did a playlist on it. I talked to some people about what I believe, about what the Bible has to say, and then I was going down to the children's hospital. It's outpatient rehab. But the funny thing was, yesterday when I got this email from Mary asking me to go, and I said yes I could, then I got an email saying that she was in shock that her dog had died. Her sweet little Pomeranian Teddy, who actually played the piano for the little kids. She would bring in the little toy piano and he would play the piano for the kids. I mean, the kids loved Teddy. And so I'm so sad for her. She's a believer, so I'm hoping that everybody's going to get reunited in heaven soon. But the strange thing was, so I go to this visit, and it turns out that the other person did not show up, so it's just me and Lexi, and I'm meeting the different patients, and I spent about an hour there. And as I was walking out, one of the parents was waiting on her child to come out of rehab, and I'm not exactly how the conversations. Oh, I guess maybe I told her. She started talking about her dog had passed away, and her dog was only 1 year old. and had been able to tell whether her daughter was having a seizure or something like that. And then suddenly her dog died. It was only a year old, and it was so strange to them. And I told her about how Teddy had passed away, and she was like, "Oh, that's just so sad." And I just started talking about the rapture, and I guess that's why I was thinking about it this afternoon, or when I got back, or this evening, because y'all know sometimes most of the time when you talk to someone about the rapture, they're like, "Yeah, right, okay, right, oh, that'd be great, yeah, okay." Well, that wasn't the case for this woman. I don't know her name, but she was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And everything that I told her, I told her about my dream. I told her about, or my dreams. I told her about my channel. I told her about how there was a community in YouTube sharing their stories about the rapture, and that she was like, "Really?" She's like, "It really seems like it really could be the case, that it really could be happening." Well, as I was thinking about that, and how nice and refreshing it was to get someone have an affirmation of what I was hearing. And this was a black woman, and so I was able to say too, like, "Hey, y'all, we're sisters." And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, and God, that's one of the signs too, is you can see all the problems with race relations, that God is not happy, that we all are created, and we all are created in God's image, and we all go back to Noah, and that we are all related, and God is not happy with this. And she was like, "Yeah, I know." Well, so tonight, as I was thinking about just how wonderful that was, I realized that her daughter's name was Miranda. Now, I had to kind of like go back in my memory banks, and I didn't really realize it's not been that long, but I had a dream, and I have a video. I think it was it was actually on November. I went back to look, and it was on November 21st, the 21st, 21. And there were a lot of people saying, "Hey, December 21." But in this case, and I'm open to Hanukkah, I'm open to the 17th with the red dragon, I'm open to it all. I'm just hoping it's this year, and I'm really encouraged by seeing everybody else put out what God's giving them. But I went back to see what was the Miranda message, because I remember it was so strange when I had that message that God told me to give to Miranda. I just thought, that is just so weird, but I'm gonna put it out there. Maybe there's a Miranda in the audience, in the viewership that needs this or something. I don't know. Well, I went back to look at it, and what God had told me to say was, "Tell Miranda happy birthday tomorrow." Now, I'm not saying any dates, okay? But if me meeting a Miranda today, and I haven't met a Miranda since this video, and seeing her today, and the birthday is tomorrow, could it be that the baby is going to be born tomorrow? I think that'd be great. Now, if tomorrow passes by, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Probably on Thursday, I will call down there and find out if they can tell me what Miranda's actual birthday is, because that would be interesting too. Anyway, we're all so excited to go, and I do love y'all, and I love our community on YouTube, and I just praise God for all the things that He's giving to everybody, just to keep us laser focused on who Jesus is, how much we love Him, and how much we look forward to His return in the clouds. God bless you. Bye-bye.